Hi there. So I just want to give you a quick update on my Vanda Orchids. I think one of the last videos that I posted was of me moving this young Vanda to a potted medium instead of being in a basket. And it's had such a good production of roots and growth that I decided to convert my other 3 Vandas also to growing them in pots. So I'm going to give you an update and show you some of the root growth. So the first one we have here is the first Vanda that I potted up, and this is the Vanda Fuchs Delight crossed with Vanda Dr. Anek Blue. And so this was a seedling that I bought a few years ago from Better Grow. It's a bag baby. And as you can see, the roots are doing really well in this pot. They've put out so much growth almost immediately after being potted up. And this bark that I have them in, that I have all my Vandas in, is the Orchiata bark. And I believe it's the medium size. This tall one is the Renanthera phillipinensis. And again, so much root growth, both aerial root growth as well as root growth in the pot. And I'll just try and rotate this so you can see. Lots of new green tips. All this root growth that's sort of happened on the outside of the pot or near the outside of the pot is new growth. And these root tips barely did anything when I had them in baskets. Even if I had them like in my bathroom in a high humidity environment, they never did much until they were put into pots. So you can see that there. So they're quite happy. This giant one here is actually, it's sitting on its own little stand here. This is a Mimi Palmer hybrid. And I'm sorry for the sun coming through, but it's so big that I didn't want to move it. Basically, it's now in a pot with Orchiata bark, and there's so much new root growth. So this is a brand new aerial root, and if I can get across to the other side here, you can see all the roots that are growing towards the sun. And in the pot, they're also, the root tips are growing. So far, this also seems to be very happy in a potted setting. And last but not least, I'll show you my most recent Vanda acquisition. So this Vanda I purchased only 2 weeks ago. And it was in a standard black plastic basket when it came to me. And I immediately converted it to a potted setting here. Potted setup. Having trouble finding my words today. Anyways, this was a very hard to find Vanda that I originally saw featured on Bumblebee's Orchids videos. It's actually the Vanchoanthe Memoria Holland tan. So it's a Vanda Thailand crossed with tessellata crossed with Mimi Palmer. And it has pink fragrant blooms. And so it had the standard roots that it came with, but within a matter of 2 weeks, it has put out so much new root growth. It's put out these roots here. It's branched new root tips from existing roots. And I'll turn it around. It also has a basil keiki, which is great, which I understand is common for this hybrid. And again, all these new root tips. And it's doing the same thing. You can't really see it. It's hard to see. But there's also some new root tip growth in the pot. So it seems to want to put out new roots and hopefully have them grow into the pot. So I will keep you updated on this, but I can't wait until this one blooms because this is such a hard to find orchid. I happened to find it from a Canadian vendor just recently, but that was the first time ever that I've seen it offered in Canada. I understand from Bumblebee's Orchids that Moats now carries it, but I see that it's already sold out there. So it's still a fairly rare variety, so I'm really looking forward to having it bloom. Anyways, that's the update. The 4 vandas that I have all seem to be, or the Vanda type orchids, all seem to be very, very happy growing in bark chips, in the Orchiata bark. Some have been in there for a couple months, and this one most recently has been in there for just 2 weeks. So we will see how it does over the next few months. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.